everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're gonna be talking about the worst Tinder dates ever. So before we get into this video, you guys are like, Azzy, have you ever been on a bad date? Well, first, I'm gonna need to take you guys back to the land of Canada many, many years ago. It's so nice to meet you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
You know, I live with my mom. It's pretty sweet. She doesn't make me pay rent or anything, but she does nag at me a lot. If you have extra space, I would love to crash with you. I could sleep in your couch even. I think it's a little too soon for that. We just met. Well, the only reason I'm on this date is because I heard you had money. I can't actually afford to pay for this bill. I had a job though in my defense, but my stupid boss fired me. You're not gonna believe this story. He was yelling at me for this stupid garbage about being late, so I just karate chopped him with my kung fu skills. But on the bright side, now I can follow my dreams. I'm being a professional fighter. For the love of God, somebody get me out of here. This guy's insane.
While that date didn't go that well, I feel a lot better about it after seeing some of these dates. So this one says, a different person showed up. Not exactly my worst, then what is his worst? But potentially most confounding, completely different girl showed up to my date. How confusing is that? It's like, you're like, wait, what? No, I'm not talking about clever use of camera angles. This was a completely different person. Wow. Okay, so now I understand, you know, you're taking a selfie, and you know what? Every girl has done this. If you haven't done this, then I'm calling you a liar. Maybe you haven't. But it's like you take a picture and just like the lighting that day is perfect. Maybe you're in this bathroom and the lighting is flawless and your hair is on fleek, your makeup's on fleek, and you take a picture and you're like, God damn, I look good. Doesn't really look like me, but I look good. And then you make that your profile picture for everything. But this is different. This is like me creating a profile on Tinder and getting a bunch of dates and showing up in a banana costume. I should make a video about this. Guys, like this video if you want to see me do that. I will do that. I will show up to dates with guys in a banana costume and be like, hi. Not a match. Finding my mom on there. This one is simple and straight to the point, but leaves so many questions, guys. Did he swipe right on his mom? Did they go on a date? Did he pluck his eyeballs out after seeing her on Tinder? Did he die? I need to know. It's too short. Stood up twice in one night. I once got stood up twice in one night. With the first girl, me and her had an actual planned out date a few days in advance. I get to the place and text her. She texts me 20 minutes later and says she had met up with a friend beforehand, so she was running late. She never showed up. I started Tindering at the bar, matched with someone, told her about my situation and asked her what she was up to. Oh no. I mean, I appreciate his honesty. He also should have checked with the girl that day instead of messaging her when he already got there. Some people are forgetful. They have memories of goldfish. I have a memory of a goldfish. She said she was at a bar by herself. Ooh, so this is going well so far. And told me that it sucked, that my date just didn't show up. I asked her if I could join, and she gave me an enthusiastic, sure. How can you tell he's enthusiastic? This is the problem with phones. Sometimes you think someone's being enthusiastic, but really they're being sarcastic. And there's no way to tell. But she wasn't there when I showed up. LOL. I feel like he didn't actually laugh when he wrote that LOL. I feel like most people don't laugh when they write LOL. Like, unless you're writing like LMFAO or like LOL with capitals, I feel like it's not really a real laugh. It's a lie. It's a big fat lie. I sarcastically messaged her. Wow, stood up twice in one night. I feel like I should get a prize or something. She didn't respond. RIP. And unmatched me the second day. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just wasn't feeling anymore and got off Tinder after that one. I would have too. Dude, it is a rough getting stood up twice in a row. You know what? I raise a glass up to you. This drink's on Azzyland. Delicious! delicious. A rock and roll lifestyle. Guy invited me on a date to a bar to watch a band play and get a drink or two. I show up and wait around for a good 20 minutes. Never leave people waiting. It's rude. Turns out it was his band that was playing and he invited 3 others. No! So this guy goes on Tinder to make his rock concert busy. I mean, it doesn't work this way, but this is like me going on Tinder, inviting guys to go watch my channel so I get more views. I don't know if this guy is savage or if this is just good marketing. Oh, wait. It gets even better. I didn't even finish reading it. So she calls an Uber and then he goes out and tells her that she's being incredibly rude and never wants to see her again for not watching his whole concert. Who raises these people? The most expensive Tinder date. Not me, but a friend of mine. Totally him. So he met this girl on Tinder. They chatted, and after a month, she invited him to her town, around 100 kilometers away. Damn, that is far. He agreed because he had a fucking date. So he drove to the town and a nice evening. Eventually, they got dinner. They eat, but after the meal, she gotta go to the toilet, but never comes back. Okay, this sounds made up already. Like, this sounds like something that happens in a movie. Like, she snuck out of a window, right? He had to pay the whole bill with his leftover money. He got back home, and it was a pretty expensive trip for him. Oh, man, this sucks. If you can't afford to go on an expensive date, don't go on an expensive date. There's so many awesome things you can do with people. Like, you can take them places that are inexpensive, but it's like awesome memories and it's a lot of fun. And then you're not stuck there the whole dinner until you meet your meal, like just like eating, you know? If it don't come with a side of fries, it ain't worth a try. That's what I always say. I never say that. Partied out in 2013. Oh man, this is from 2013. Like this is gonna be spicy. Like if this person is still talking about a date that they went on 4 years ago, this is gonna be good. Okay, I can't wait. I'm gonna get comfortable. My buddy hit it off with again about his buddy. You are not talking about a date that your buddy went on 4 years later. My buddy hit it off with a young lady on Tinder. Did Tinder even exist 4 years ago? She lived in a college town about an hour away and he invited her out drinking in the city. He, I, and a dozen of our male friends are pre-gaming. That's when you pre-drink before a fraternity mixer. She shows up to his new and expensive high-rise condo, and she's gained at least 40 or 50 pounds since her profile picture was taken. Then he got riggedy wrecked on shots and beers. Most of the party clears put to get changed. What? And it's just, what? Her, what? Rip Azzy, I can't speak. It's maybe 10 p.m. and we want to go out, but she's slurring her words. So am I. Me and her have something in common. She starts vomiting. She doesn't stop for an hour, and that's when I left. Why the owner of the condo decides comes with me is a question lost to history. But he leaves her in the bathroom. Can't leave a drunk girl by herself. When he got back, she said she had curled up on his bed and puked on the nightstand, so he sleeps on the couch. And when he awoke, she had disappeared without paying for or cleaning anything. Okay, this is the problem I see with this. There's two problems I see. The first problem is I hate rude house guests. Don't trash somebody's house. It's rude. Like you're showing up, you're getting sloppy, silly, and you're puking everywhere. You're not cleaning up after yourself. But also, they did leave her by herself. So I kind of think they're both in the wrong. I renounce all material possessions. Not me, but a friend of mine met a girl who was fine. He went out with her a few times, but on the third date, she went fucking crazy. Now, this is why internet dating is so sketchy, guys. You never know who somebody really is. I don't have all the details, but she was sitting in his truck talking to herself and at one point threw her phone out saying she didn't want any attachment to material possessions. He says it got worse from there. It ended with the cops taking her away. Guess you really don't know who someone is until they're sitting in your truck talking to themselves. Rip. This was my friend. But it was a great story. She agreed to go out with a guy. They made plans that included her being picked up by him. She gets in the car and notices that he has one of those breath start contraptions that you can get with DUI. Bummer, but not a deal breaker. They get to the restaurant and it is a terrible Mexican spot. She's not a picky eater, so she says she would give it a whirl. This food was okay, but not great. They're talking and getting to know each other, and she notices that he orders a couple of margaritas. Sounds like I've had a couple myself, but I haven't. I'm just special. At the end of the meal, he lets her know that he doesn't have any money. Rude. You don't have any money and you want to let someone know before? That is fine. You can't order a shit ton of stuff, eat it and drink it, and then tell someone. What is this shit? She pays for dinner and just wants to go home. They get into his car and he says he can't drive because he's had a couple drinks. She is way nicer than I would have been and decided to drive this car to his house, then Uber home from there. Girl, what are you doing? She had to keep blowing a device that he was just really pissed about the whole thing. What? My biggest problem with this story is why did they order margaritas over tacos? When you go to a Mexican place, you have to order hundreds of tacos until your tummy hurts and you can't eat them anymore because tacos are delicious. Delicious! This girl was too nice. This guy sounds like a real jerk. A Dave & Buster's regular. I got tea with a guy as a first meetup that went decently, so I agreed to go out with him again. This time, he suggested Dave & Buster's. It was like a Wednesday night. The place was totally empty. He had no desire to drink, but you can't force someone to drink. Not everybody wants to drink, and you have to be respectful of that. Let people do their things. Like, you can't force people to be you. You are you and they are they, and if they want to drink, they can drink, and if that person doesn't want to drink, he doesn't have to drink. And by the end of it, I was basically watching him play video games. First time I ever contemplated leaving while someone was in the bathroom. After the day, he kept texting me and I was pretty unresponsive, hoping he would take the hint. After a couple days, I told him I wasn't interested and he responded by cursing me out. Good times. I mean, this could have been a really fun day. Like you go somewhere, play video games together, get really competitive, have some fun. It's not fun if she has to watch and play video games. That's like, he needs to let her have a turn too. I met a girl on Tinder. We talked for a while and finally decided to go to a lake. We go, meet, hug, and sit down on a blanket by the lake. We talk for a bit, about 10 minutes. I hear, splash, splash. I like that. I like that word. She looks down and laughs. I look down at her leg. And there, on her right leg, is a big, white, speckly bird shit. This would happen to me. Embarrassing things happen to me like this all the time. I asked, did a bird just shit on your leg? She says yes and laughs. I don't think before I catch myself wiping the bird shit off her leg with my hand. I go to the lake, wash my hands off, and go sit back down. That was nice of him. He cleaned it up for her. We have a little laugh, talk for a couple hours, and decide to call it a night. We go back to our cars, and I go to give her the goodbye. I wasn't sure if I should give her a hug or a kiss at this point. I didn't want to be invasive. As I'm hugging her and thinking about the kiss, I start to get a boner. Oh no. I mean, like, I'm not a guy, so I don't know how embarrassing that would be, but I feel like it would probably be embarrassing. RIP! We all just take a moment for our fallen comrades on these dates. There's been a lot of horrible ones in here, some worse than others. Makes me feel a lot better about the bad dates I've had in the past. If you guys have had any really bad dates, let me know in the comments. And if there's enough, maybe I'll make a video on your guys' bad dates. I love you guys all so much! I'm gonna go now, but I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!